Welcome to this IGotAnOffer video on why consulting. When they hire you, consulting firms will want to make sure that you know what you're getting into. This is why we will ask you, why do you want to be a management consultant? But here's the thing about this question. There are some reasons to go into consulting which you can tell your interviewer about, and some reasons which you should really keep to yourself. In this video, I'll step through 3 examples for each category. At IGotAnOffer, we've helped more than 20,000 candidates prepare for case interviews so far, and more than 80% of people who train with us end up getting an offer. This case interview guide summarizes a lot of what we've learned in the process of doing this, so let's get started. Number 1. One of the benefits of going into consulting is that you will work for senior executives and have a strong impact from very early on in your career. This is really a special opportunity. Your peers working in the industry will not get this chance in the first few years of their career. They usually have to wait for multiple promotions to have exposure to their company's CEO. As you prepare for your interview, you could research some interesting projects the company you are targeting has done and make a reference to them when you are asked why you want to be a consultant. For instance, if you are interviewing with McKinsey, you could say something like, "One of the reasons I'm excited to work in consulting is because I feel I would have the opportunity to work on high-impact projects. For instance, I've seen that McKinsey was helping Harvard's endowment investment team improve its performance. That's the type of high-impact project which I'd really be excited about taking part in." This is really just an example of a project. We encourage you to have a chat with consultants in your direct network or at a recruiting event and try and find out what they are working on. This will give you good talking points for your interview later on. Number 2. Another exciting reason to go into consulting is that you will learn a lot, almost by necessity. You will change projects every 3 months, and initially you will have to learn a new topic and a new industry every time. You will have a lot of catch-up to do to even be in a position to help your client. This means that the beginning of projects will be very intense and very uncomfortable, but it also means that your rate of learning will be much higher than if you were in another industry. In addition, consulting firms invest a lot in training their staff. You will be your company's main asset, what they sell to clients, and they therefore won't hesitate to send you on training up to 1 week per year and sometimes to exotic locations like Barcelona or Cancun, like this map from Bain shows. If you are genuinely excited about learning quickly, this is something you should definitely mention to your interviewer. You could say something like, "One of the reasons I want to be a consultant is that I'll get exposure to a wide range of industries and topics. This will give me a chance to learn much quicker than if I'm working in a defined industry, and it's something that I'm really excited about." Right, a third good reason to go into consulting is that you will work and make friends with a lot of bright people. That sounds a little cliche, but if you do the maths, you'll actually see that it's true. Projects typically last 3 months in consulting and involve about 5 consultants and partners. So in 1 year, you will have worked with 20 different people, and in 5 years, 100 people. And that doesn't include all the clients and the other people you will meet in your office. Consulting companies make a big effort to hire bright people. If you know any consultants, ask them to tell you about the people they work with. This will be a great talking point for your interview where you could say something like, "I've met with Maria from the Houston office and she seems to really enjoy working with her different teammates and even making really good friends with some of them. Working with bright people is definitely something I'm looking forward to." Okay, so let's move on to reasons to be a consultant which you should not necessarily discuss with your interviewer. The first one is that you will make a lot of money. It's no secret that consulting is a rather lucrative job. As an entry-level business analyst at McKinsey, you could be making around $80,000 in base salary and $20,000 in bonus. And as a graduate from an MBA, these numbers could be double. Everyone has got their own reasons for money being an important consideration. You might have to repay your student loan or have other reasons. Our advice on this specific topic is to keep that reason to yourself. This will probably sound obvious, but there are more interesting points we have just discussed which you can mention to your interviewer. Another potential reason to go into consulting that you shouldn't really mention to your interviewer is that the firm might sponsor your MBA. It's a well-known fact that consultancies hire a lot of MBA graduates, but it's less known that they also send a lot of their junior staff to do an MBA. Taking Harvard Business School as an example, last year 15% of incoming students were coming from a consulting background, and 23% of graduates went into consulting. So a lot of consultant come in, and even more consultant come out. The exact sponsorship you will get depends on your firm, but most consultancies will pay for your MBA tuition fees in exchange for which you agree to go back and work at the firm for 2 or 3 years after you graduate. If you change your mind during your MBA, you'll have to pay back your tuition fees to your former employer. If you are just out of university and know you want to do an MBA in 2 or 3 years, then this could be a really good opportunity for you. Finally, after 2 or 3 years in consulting, you will have fantastic exit opportunities. In many cases, you won't even have to look for a job. Headhunters will reach out to you on LinkedIn multiple times per month to point you at interesting opportunities. Not every consultant goes on to do great things, but some really do. For instance, Sheryl Sandberg is currently COO at Facebook and Sundar Pichai is leading Google, and both started their career at McKinsey. Having worked at a consulting firm will give you access to a strong alumni network that's there to help you throughout your career and ready to make introductions. That's another great reason to go into consulting. Okay, so that's it for this video on why consulting. If you have any questions about consulting interviews, don't hesitate to ask them below and our team will answer them. Finally, I just wanted to flag that if you are preparing for consulting interviews, you should check out our case interview training programs on IGotAnOffer.com. 80% of people who have used these programs so far ended up getting a job in consulting, so they've proven quite effective. Okay, so that's it for today, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel.